If you are familiar with the United States Roth IRA or 401k, this is basically our Philippine version of that. Hi everyone, this is Charm again and welcome back to my channel where we talk about personal finance, entrepreneurship, and adulting how-tos. In a recent video where I ranked 23 different types of investments available for Filipinos, I mentioned P.E.R.A. And a lot of you guys requested that I talk more about P.E.R.A. And no, I don't mean P.E.R.A. as in money because I already talk about money in my channel a lot. I mean P.E.R.A. or our government's retirement savings program. Today, let's talk about what P.E.R.A. is, what its benefits are, who's involved, when can you claim your P.E.R.A. investments, some sample computations, and of course, how to invest in P.E.R.A. Again, this is not to be taken as investment advice. You should still do your own due diligence and research. This is just to showcase what P.E.R.A. is all about. I will be linking all my resource materials down below as well as the FAQ from the BSP website so you guys can check that out for yourselves. But with all of that said, let's start this video. First, what is P.E.R.A.? P.E.R.A. or P.E.R.A. stands for Personal Equity and Retirement Account. It is a long-term and voluntary savings program by the Philippine Government. Generally, P.E.R.A. is invested in funds that are invested in equity and in bonds through these vehicles. P.E.R.A. was established in 2008 through the Republic Act 9505, but it was only implemented in 2016. And in 2020, digital P.E.R.A. was introduced so that you can access your account online 24/7. I'm actually very surprised that not many people are talking about P.E.R.A. and not a lot of investors or Filipinos are investing in P.E.R.A. If you are familiar with the United States Roth IRA or 401k, this is basically our Philippine version of that. So now let's jump into the benefits of P.E.R.A. There are three main benefits of P.E.R.A. and they are mostly tax shelter or tax benefits. First benefit of P.E.R.A. is that income earned is tax-free. Now, if you're familiar with other investment vehicles, you would know that from your earnings, they would either take out withholding tax or capital gains tax. But with P.E.R.A., your earnings are tax-free. So for example, you're putting your money in a savings account and you earn 1% per annum. That's only really 0.8% net because of the 20% withholding tax. So in a way, the money that you're putting in P.E.R.A. might actually grow faster because of the taxes. So even if it's just a small amount compounded over time, it could still be a significant amount. So the second tax benefit is a 5% tax credit. Your P.E.R.A. investments are entitled to 5% tax credits on your total contributions per year. You can then use that for your annual income tax. Just take note that for the first two tax benefits that I mentioned, there is a cap. Benefits apply only up to 100,000 pesos per individual if you are based here in the Philippines and 200,000 pesos if you are based abroad or if you are an OFW. So with that, if you are based in the Philippines and you contributed 100,000 pesos, then you have a maximum of 5,000 pesos tax credit. Given you can invest more than 100,000 or 200,000 pesos if you're an OFW, but investments more than the limit are not anymore entitled for the tax-free income and the 5% tax credit. Now, for the third tax benefit, your P.E.R.A. account is not considered an asset. So what do I mean by that? Since it's not considered an asset, it cannot be used as an asset for insolvency purposes and estate taxes. So for insolvency purposes, it means that if you are declaring bankruptcy, for example, and you need to repay loans, then they cannot take what is in your P.E.R.A. account. And in the same way, if the contributor died, the beneficiaries can claim what's in their P.E.R.A. account without having to pay for any estate taxes. So it's very similar to insurances wherein if the beneficiaries are still alive, then they can claim what's in their P.E.R.A. account. Okay, now let's talk about the moving pieces or who's involved. So we have the administrator, the custodian, the product provider, and the contributor. First is the administrator or the P.E.R.A. administrator. They have to be pre-qualified by the BSP, SEC, or the Insurance Commission, and they have to be accredited by the BIR. An administrator can either be a bank, a standalone trust corporation, an insurance company, or a securities broker. Their responsibilities include managing or overseeing the contributor's pera, presents available pera products, and informs you of the risks and rewards. And they're also in charge of receiving, recording, managing, and maintaining all your contributions. As of making this video, we have 3 qualified administrators. We have BDO, BPI, and ATRAM. Next, let's talk about the custodian. The custodian holds the pera cash or pera securities or both. So this is a third party from the administrator to promote checks and balances. So you can have either a BSP accredited pera custodian or you can be your own custodian if you use the digital pera. So next, let's talk about the product providers. Basically, they are the ones providing us with the investment where we can put our money in. So as of making this video, there are 12 pera products. There are 6 bond funds, there are 3 money market funds, and there are 3 equity funds. I'm going to quickly run through what are the available products. First is we have the BDO P.E.R.A Short-Term Fund, the BDO P.E.R.A Bond Index Fund, BDO P.E.R.A Equity Fund, BPI P.E.R.A Money Market Fund, BPI P.E.R.A Corporate Income Fund, BPI P.E.R.A Government Bond Fund, and BPI P.E.R.A Equity Fund. Next is we have Land Bank P.E.R.A Bond Fund, at PNB P.E.R.A Bond Fund, the Metrobank P.E.R.A Equity Fund, Metrobank P.E.R.A Money Market Fund, and lastly we have Metrobank P.E.R.A Bond Fund. Next is the contributor, or you and me. We are the investors. Now, there are 2 main ways to invest. First is through your employer. Given that this is a voluntary savings program, not all employers might have this option, but if they are, then it's great and you should really take advantage of it. As an employer, since you are the one remitting or paying for taxes, then your contributions can be exempt from paying withholding taxes on the compensation or fringe benefits. And then next, of course, you can invest by yourself or as an individual contributor, wherein if you are self-employed or if you are a business owner, then you can take the tax benefits, especially the income tax benefits for yourself. So again, let's recap. We have the administrator, the custodian, the product provider, and the contributor. There is a 5th possible market participant, but it's only optional, and that is an investment manager. You can authorize someone who is accredited by the concerned regulatory authority, may it be BSP, SEC, or Insurance Commission, who can make your investment decisions for your P.E.R.A account. But of course, this would usually come with a fee. Speaking of fee, let's quickly run down the different fees that you might encounter. So since taxes are not really in question, what are the other fees that are there? First is transaction fees. So when you are depositing money to your P.E.R.A account, there might be transaction fees, transfer fees. Next is the administrator fees, which is at 1%. The cash custodial fee if you are using a third-party custodian, the unit trust fee, which depends on what investment or UITF you are investing in. This could be between 0.5 to 1% per annum. And lastly, investment management fees if you are getting an investment manager. Now, let's talk about when you can withdraw or claim your P.E.R.A investments. As the name suggests, it is a retirement account. So, they have this 55 and 5 rule wherein you have to be 55 years old with at least 5 years of contributions for you to be able to claim your P.E.R.A investments with the tax benefits. And this can be made either lump sum or through monthly pension. So, if you don't qualify for the 55 and 5 rule just yet, there are other ways that you can claim your P.E.R.A account. First is upon death, wherein your beneficiaries will be able to claim your P.E.R.A investments tax-free or estate tax-free. And also, there are exemptions to the 55 and 5 rule. First is if you are permanently or totally disabled. Second is that if you encounter an accident or you have an illness that will have you hospitalized for more than 30 days. And lastly is if you are transferring from one administrator to another or from one P.E.R.A account or product to another. Okay, so if you're not 55 and 5, you're not dead or you're not part of the valid reasons, and if you have to withdraw your P.E.R.A investments early, then you will not enjoy the tax benefits. That means that you have to pay 20% withholding tax from all of your earnings as well as all of the supposedly tax credits that will be returned to the BIR. Okay, now let's do some sample computations. First, I want to remind you guys that your money with P.E.R.A is not guaranteed. So it's not, for example, like Pag-ibig MP2 wherein your capital is government guaranteed. You can lose money on P.E.R.A because it is invested in equities wherein the prices of the UITFs or mutual funds or etc. can go up and down. A bit similar to the stock market. So for the sample computations, I will assume that you are based here in the Philippines and that you are maxing out the 100,000 pesos of annual contributions. And I'm also assuming that you're contributing annually. Let's assume a conservative return on your investment at 4% per annum. If you are 25 years old, that means you have 30 years to invest before reaching 55 years old. So that means you are contributing 100,000 pesos for 30 years. That's 3 million pesos. Your cumulative interest is 2,508,904 pesos. So your total P.E.R.A value at age 55 is 5,508,904 pesos. You have a total tax savings, the 20% withholding tax that you get as a benefit of 501,781, and you will get tax credits, the 5,000 pesos per year of 150,000 pesos. So your total tax benefit is 651,781. That means that if you invest the same amount in a different vehicle, still earning 4% per annum, but they don't have a tax credit and they have the 20% withholding tax, then your 5.5 million pesos of investment is only around 4.85 million. Next sample computation, if you're 35 years old, then that means that you have 20 years until 55, then you've contributed a total of 2 million pesos. The 4% cumulative income of that is 977,808 pesos, or a total P.E.R.A value of 2.9 million pesos by the age of 55. The total tax benefit of that is 295,000. So if it was not invested in P.E.R.A earning the same 4%, you would only have 2.68 million sana. So lastly is if you are 45 years old and you have 10 years to go before the age of 55 and your total contribution is 1 million pesos, the 4% cumulative income of that is 200,611 pesos. The total P.E.R.A value at age 55 is 1.2 million pesos. And the total tax benefit is around 90,000 pesos. So if it was invested somewhere else, you would only have gotten 1.11 million pesos instead of 1.12. Please do note that these are only sample computation. 4% is only what we're basing it upon, but your investments can go up and down. It can go to 3%, 5%, 7%, 9%, or etc. It really depends on the performance of the market. Okay, now maybe you recently paid for your income tax and you're realizing 5,000 pesos would be a great help, and you're also investing in a tax-free investment and you're interested in investing in P.E.R.A. How can you invest? First, let's talk about the requirements. You only need to be Filipino, at least 18 years old. You have a TIN number and one valid ID to invest in P.E.R.A. If you are an OFW, there might be additional requirements needed like overseas employment certification, proof of income earned, and certification as an OFW. If you already want to open an account with P.E.R.A, first look for an administrator. Again, we have BDO, BPI, or ATRAM. First is BDO, which you can access through bdo.com.ph/P.E.R.A. Next is BPI, which you can access through the bpiassetmanagement.com. With BDO and BPI though, they would require you to have a savings account with them. We also have ATRAM, or our digital P.E.R.A, which you can access through pera.seedbox.ph. You can have a maximum of 5 P.E.R.A accounts given that they are all in one administrator only. So you can't have an account with BDO, BPI, and ATRAM. So you have to choose one, and that each account shall be confined to one investment product category. Now that you've chosen which administrator you're going with, then it's time to open an account. I opened my account with Atram or Seedbox. It only took me around 10 minutes to finish my application. So you have the KYC or the basic account opening process. You also have to fill up the FATCA or the Foreign Account Tax Compliance Act. And also, you have to fill out a risk assessment or a client suitability assessment so that they would know what type of investor you are, whether you're a conservative, moderate, or aggressive type of investor, so that they would also know which products might fit well for you. And after your account opening process, you can start investing. You can start investing for as low as 1,000 pesos or 5,000 pesos. It depends on what product you are investing in. Whether you've decided to invest your retirement savings in P.E.R.A or maybe in other vehicles, there's one thing that I want you guys to take from this video. You need to plan for retirement and you need to do it as young as possible. I know that it's so easy to have the mañana habit when it comes to planning for your retirement because it seems so far away, but the younger and earlier you start, the easier it is and the bigger your nest egg will be. I've talked about retirement, retiring early in the Philippines, and how I plan to retire at 45. So if you guys are interested in retirement videos, then I will link those videos up here and I will put them in the description. If you like this video and you think your friends, your families should also start investing in P.E.R.A, then please share this video with them. Like this video because it helps out a lot and it allows me to make free content for you guys. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already and ring that notification bell so that you get notified every time I upload another video. And again, I know that adulting can be hard. That's why I love making these videos for you guys. This is Charm again and I will see you in my next video. Today or not today? Okay, today.